good, y'all? What's good, y'all? This is Unapologetically Informed. Let's get into it. What the hell is going on? Let me be straight up. We're living in a shutdown nation. We're over 30 days knee deep into this government shutdown, and families across America are feeling it hard, y'all. You know it's hard out here for a bit when you're trying to get this money for the rent. With the Cadillac and gas money spent, got a whole lot of bitches talking shit. Talking shit, jumping shit, whatever. I don't care if you Democrat, Independent, Republican, black, white, red, brown, rural, urban. I don't care. You feeling it hard. It's hard out here. Food banks are overwhelmed. SNAP benefits are hanging by a thread. And people who make the system work are sitting at home unpaid. Meanwhile, the man in charge in Congress, they out here living large, the Trumpsters, the Republicans, taking foreign trips, luxury, great Gatsby dinners, remodeling ballrooms and bathrooms inside the White House, all while millions of Americans are wondering how the hell they don't do it. This isn't just a political crisis, it's a moral. And today, we're breaking down what's really going on. We'll talk about why SNAP is our own life support. What's behind this government shutdown? Leaders like Kamala and Jasmine Crockett, Obama, acting back at the Trump. And while this Tuesday's election is the turning point we've been waiting for. This is Unapologetically Informed, y'all. Politics, power, and truth from my black ass perspective. Let's get into it. Yo, real talk, y'all. This SNAP shit, it is a mess. It's the difference between food and hunger for 42 million Americans. That's 1 in 8 people in this country. And right now, y'all, it's on life support. Here's what's happening. The USDA says it won't tap into the $5 billion contingency fund or the $23 billion emergency reserve fund to cover benefits for November. That means yesterday, y'all, millions of people saw their food benefits stop. Now, federal judges have stepped in, and thank God for these lower courts, because if it weren't for them, who knows what will be happening. But these federal judges have stepped in and told the USDA they must use those funds. But y'all know this Trump administration, they dragging its feet, and the clock is ticking. It's really hard out here, but some states, some cities, they stepping up and they're scrambling to fill the gap. I know New York, they declared a state of emergency, and dropped $65 million to keep food banks running. I know Birmingham, Alabama, Mayor Woodfin, he stepped in too. He donated $1 million from the city's budget to step in and to help food banks to keep running. It's really serious out here, y'all. Let's get into this right here.
Going on for 31 days. Real people are feeling real pain, and on Saturday, 42 million Americans could be going hungry without key federal food assistance. But on Friday, 2 federal judges ruled that the Trump administration had to tap into billions of dollars to at least partially cover some of this food assistance. It's unclear when that funding would flow and how long it would last. But ensuring that people don't go hungry as this shutdown drags on has been key for lawmakers on all sides of the aisle. Democrats have been saying that the White House needs to pay to ensure that people can eat during the shutdown. Republicans say the easiest way to ensure that no one goes hungry is to fully reopen the government. But with this federal ruling, now the ball is in the Trump administration's court as 42 million people's hunger hangs in the balance.
42 million people hanging in the balance, hungry. It's Thanksgiving, right before Thanksgiving, and you got a lot of people standing in food lines and food banks. It's crazy, y'all. So what does this mean? It means parents choosing between feeding their kids, keeping the lights on, filling up their gas tanks, filling prescriptions. It means seniors rationing meals. It means grocery stores in low-income areas bracing for people who simply can't buy food. The USDA, the government, is sitting on billions, y'all, billions in emergency funds they could use right now to feed the American people, but they not touching it. Judges order them to use it. States are begging them to use it, and still nothing. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it a buck. If this administration refuses to use the funds that are already there, it's not about money. It's about priorities. It's about who matters. It's about who gets left behind when politics takes center stage. The emergency funds are sitting there. The question is, will they use them? This right here, this SNAP crisis, y'all, it didn't just appear out of nowhere. Let's break down how we even got into this mess. Here's the real story, y'all. The shutdown started on October the 1st when Congress failed to pass a funding bill. No budget, no agreement, no plan. Republicans demanded steep cuts to domestic programs, things like healthcare, housing, and social services, while increasing defense and border spending. That's why they blowing up ships over in the Caribbean and Pacific and those ICE agents. That's what they wanted money for. Democrats refused to sign off on the deal that gutted healthcare subsidies and safety nets. And I'm proud of the Democrats for finally standing up. So a lot of people has been asking me, what is the government shutdown? What is it all about? Take a look at this and see if this explains it a little bit more, if it explains it better for you. Check this out.
The United States had a problem. It's government shutdown. But the bigger problem is this shutdown is probably not going to end anytime soon. But first, what is a shutdown? The United States has a branch of government called Congress, and they have to figure out how the United States is going to spend its money. But if they can't agree on how the United States is going to spend its money, then the government shuts down because they don't know what money is going to go where. Now, what that actually means for everyday life is some federal activities like national parks, museums, some of them are shut down. And what it also means is some government workers don't get paid now, but they get paid later. Or they're just told, don't come into work, we're not gonna pay you. Side note, Congress considers themselves essential, so shut down, run down, touchdown, don't matter. They said we getting paid no matter what. Now let's get more specific. Why is Congress not agreeing on how to spend the budget? Well, it's because of Donald Trump. Donald Trump said, all right, Congress, hear me out. What I need is tax breaks for the rich, and I need about $150 billion for ICE agents. Congress said 150, what money? Where do you expect us to get this money? Donald Trump said, you know where. If you give to the rich, you got to take from the what? The poor, the brokies. Go into the Affordable Care Act and make it less affordable. Democrats said, hell no. Republicans said, hell no, because Republicans is broke too. Donald Trump said, do what I say, Republicans, or else. Republicans said, okay. They folded under zero pressure. Democrats said, oh, they switching sides. Which brings us to now. Democrats don't agree with how Donald Trump and Republicans want to move the money around. Now, I don't care if you're a Democrat, I don't care if you're a Republican, I don't care if you're a thespian. You don't agree with this budget because it's not about Republican, Democrat, it's about rich, it's about poor. And you're poor, and I am too. If you're not making over tens of millions, I don't want to hear it, you're broke. And this budget is not benefiting you. If you are making over tens of millions, slide me some of that. But I digress. The bottom line of the budget is poor people get poorer, rich people get richer. And the government's probably going to stay shut down until Congress figures out how to make that less of a reality.
And in the middle of all of that, 750,000 federal workers furloughed or working without pay. Grocery prices up high as hell. I know beef is. I can't make spaghetti, make a hamburger, or nothing around here. SNAP benefits in limbo, rent due. People are really struggling. While lawmakers argue about numbers, real people are trying to just figure out dinner. Shutdowns don't hurt the wealthy. They hit workers, senior citizens, parents, the folks who can't afford for Washington to just take a break. Shutdowns don't just freeze government, they freeze lives. They stall progress. They delay justice. They punish the poor. And let's be honest, if this was about accountability, Congress would start with their own motherfucking paychecks first. But you notice they still getting paid. Congress is still getting theirs every single time, all right? And that's the crazy thing about it. Now, while families fight to eat, Let's talk about the folks who are fighting back, the resistance, because not everybody sitting around being silent, y'all. All right, y'all, let's talk about the resistance because not everybody's sitting around silent, like I said. Lately, a wave of leaders from Barack Obama to Kamala Harris to our girl Representative Jasmine Crockett have been speaking truth to power and calling this what it is: dangerous, undemocratic, and unsustainable. Our boy Barack, y'all know our forever president, he's been back out here on the campaign trail telling Americans point blank, reject the lawlessness and recklessness of this administration. Let's get into this.
Thinks it's okay to use the Justice Department to go after his political opponents. Hey, wait, don't boom. Vote. He's deploying the National Guard in American cities, claiming to stop crime waves that don't actually exist. We've got masked ICE agents pulling up in unmarked vans and grabbing people, including U.S. citizens, off the streets on the suspicion that they don't look like real Americans. It's like every day is Halloween.
You know what I mean? Business when they bring Barack Obama back out. I love when they bring him out on the campaign trail. He always tell it like it is. Let's talk about Kamala Harris. She out here talking that shit too, y'all. She's not vice president anymore, so I think she has a little bit more freedom to say how she feels and speak her truth to power. And she out here cussing and all that kind of shit. So let's get into what Kamala's talking about. She's calling out the hypocrisy, and she's just telling it what it is. She's saying that this government's priority, it feeds power, not people. Let's get into Kamala.
I mean, this guy wants to create a ballroom for his rich friends while completely turning a blind eye to the fact that babies are going to starve when the SNAP benefits end in just hours from now. Come on. So what? I'm not going to be distracted by, oh, does the guy have a big fucking hammer? What about those babies?
Bruh. We know Kamala's favorite cuss word, she always told us, was motherfucker. You just got to say it right without the ER, with the A, motherfucker. But she out here and she out here talking this talk, and I hope that she runs again. She had 74 million people that voted for her in this last election. Last election was close, even though I feel like it was stolen by Elon and his satellites and all of that, but that's for another episode. Let's talk about one more out here talking that talk. Our girl Jasmine Crockett. You know she ain't out here mincing no words ever. When Trump called her low IQ, she clapped back hard, questioning his mental fitness and calling out his obsession with women of color. He really got a crazy obsession with women of color. Letitia James, Fonnie Willis, the governor of the Fed chair. He really goes out of black women. We know black women historically work for the federal government as well. And so over 400,000 black women have been laid off since he's taken over. So let's get into what Jasmine has got to be talking about.
It was a question about not ruling out a third term, but what's your reaction to what the president said there?
Listen, I'm waiting on a reporter, and maybe it'll be you, Caitlin, that finally ask him what is his IQ, because he is constantly talking about, he doesn't even know what a low IQ is. He don't even know which scores are low. And I can guarantee you that whatever score, if he's taken one anytime recently, I'm sure that his qualifies as low. Listen, he's never been known to be an Einstein. This is not a guy who got in on merit when it came to going to college. This is someone who, but for him being born with a silver spoon, probably wouldn't have got into anybody's institution, unlike me. So, I am not worried about that. And I wish people would look at the fact that you have a president of the United States who consistently is obsessing over two women of color that are members of the House. You are the president. You have a lot more power than we do, but obviously you consistently feel threatened. And that is why we have seen the attacks on Black women in general from this administration. I don't know what Black woman hurt him in his past, honey, but it is really taking him through it. But I really wish, for the sake of this country and honestly for the sake of the world, that he would focus on his real job and stop worrying about me. My constituents will worry about whether or not I have an adequate IQ, even though that's not the test that he's taking. And it's up to them to decide. It's not him. He can't hire me or fire me, unfortunately for him.
Some people may call that pettiness. I don't call that pettiness, y'all. I call that power. Because when Black leaders rise up, they don't just defend themselves, they defend democracy. So when you see these leaders standing firm in the face of lies, disrespect, danger, remember, they're just not fighting for themselves. They're fighting for all of us. Put some respect on their names. All right, now, y'all, let's bring this home, because there's still one thing in your hands they can't take away. And they can't take away your vote. I know it may sound cliche, but that's your voice. It's your power, and that's your vote. And that's what we got coming up this Tuesday. Let's get into it. And that brings us to Tuesday, because while chaos reigns in DC, we still have power. This election isn't presidential, it's personal, y'all. It's your mayor. It's your governor. It's your local representative, the people who decide what happens where you live. Turnout's usually low, and that's how they like it. So this time, y'all, let's get our asses out and let's flip the script, all right? Let's turn out and see what happens. Check this out.
It's that time of the year again. Election time. Stuck between last year's presidential elections and next year's midterms, this year brings off-year elections. Here is what you need to know. You've probably heard about the mayor's race in New York City. Zohran Mamdani's quick rise and dramatic win in the Democratic primary surprised many, including President Trump.
Looks like we're going to have a communist as the mayor of New York.
I'm a democratic socialist. I've said that time and again.
Former Governor Andrew Cuomo is running as an independent, as well as Republican Curtis Sliwa. In New Jersey, the governor's race is getting national attention. President Trump made big gains last year in this blue state, so Democrats are nervous. Democrat Mikey Sherrill, a U.S. Congresswoman, former Navy pilot, and prosecutor, faces Republican Jack Ciattarelli, a Trump-aligned businessman and longtime state politician. The race got personal. Ciattarelli went after Sherrill for being barred from walking at her Naval Academy graduation, and Sherrill fired back, accusing him of business ties to opioid misinformation.
Shame on you, sir.
Shame on you.
Virginia's high-profile governor's race between Democrat Abigail Spanberger and Republican Winsome Earl Sears could show us where politics are heading next year. But some down-ballot races are the ones getting attention. Democratic Attorney General candidate Jay Jones came under fire for sending violent text messages in 2022 and getting a reckless driving conviction, while Republican Lieutenant Governor nominee John Reed faced backlash over explicit online posts. Other races you should pay attention to are in Pennsylvania, where voters will decide whether to keep 3 Democratic Supreme Court justices, which could shape the 2028 presidential race because of the major role the court plays in this key swing state. And in California, redistricting is the main thing on the ballot, a direct Democratic response to Republicans redrawing districts in red states like Texas. Happy election season!
Vote, y'all. Vote. Get your ass out and vote. Research the candidates. Research the resolutions that they're trying to put forth. Research your local candidates. Vote like your rent and your mortgage depends on it, because it does. Vote like your groceries depend on it, because it does. Vote like your kids' future depend on it, because it absolutely does. This isn't about parties, y'all. It's about priorities. And the people who show up decide what they'll be. So don't fall for the my vote don't matter bullshit lie. That's the mindset they profit from. Because the truth is, your vote, your voice, your presence matters more than ever right now. If you're tired of shutdowns, hungry ass kids, and politicians playing chess with your paychecks, this is how you fight back. Don't wait for change. Be the damn change. All right, y'all, before we close this shit out, let's keep it real. This showdown shows exactly where America's values stand. Here's the truth. We don't live in a broke nation. We live in a mismanaged one. We don't live in a broke nation. We live in a mismanaged one. We know how he mismanages everything that he touches. Look at Trump University. Look at those Trump casinos in Atlantic City. Look at everything that he has done and conned. Just look at his history. Just look at his history. We live in a crazy time right now, in a crazy reality. So we're not in a broke nation, y'all. We live in a mismanaged one that funds wars faster than it funds welfare and SNAP. One that renovates bathrooms and ballrooms while families try to figure out what they gonna eat and how they gonna figure out their next meal. Let's call it what it is. This shutdown isn't about budgeting. It's about broken ass priorities. But every crisis is a chance to act, y'all. Every crisis is a chance to act. And I feel like as Americans, we are coming together. We always come together in the face of adversity. There is always more good than there is bad. And I believe that. And this gives us a chance to act like we did with the No Kings rally, with all of those millions of people getting out and showing solidarity and peacefulness and in truth, and how we're doing and how people are stepping up in this crisis of food insecurity. You know, people are really stepping up to help their fellow neighbor and to help their fellow Americans. So this gives us a chance to act, a chance to demand better, to vote smarter, to speak louder, because being unapologetically informed isn't just about knowing, it's about doing. We're not just watching, we're speaking, we're voting, and we're fighting back. So don't just scroll past the story, y'all. Be a part of it. Stay away, stay aware, stay loud. I'm your host. I'm Anthony Maurice. This is Unapologetically Informed. Until next time, keep your head up, your voice strong, and your power unapologetic. Peace.